Good morning, my fellow Michiganders. I still have at least 14 minutes until the morning is done, so I can still say it. Good morning, my fellow Americans. So a couple things real quick just to go through some of the things that are going on to keep you up to date and give you accurate and truthful information. So let's get right into the meat of the bone, as they say, in this email that has been circulating with Keep Michigan Safe. And in this email, it's got a nice little logo with a mask on it. And we had this circulated to us. And so I want to bring you to all of your attention and kind of talk about it and make sure that you understand what's going on and what's at stake, because we told you right from the beginning that this governor is just not going to sit by the wayside and allow us to take her powers away. And they're going to start other things to try to combat what the Stand Up Michigan movement is doing, along with the Unlock Michigan petition to repeal that 1945 law. They're not going to go away quietly into the sunset, folks. I said this from the beginning. It's going to be a fist fight in a phone booth. So we have to continue to update you on things that are going on, just like with the union email that got sent out. So this has started to circulate. So let's go through it. And in this email, it says, I fully support Governor Whitmer and the life-saving actions she has taken and will continue to take to keep Michiganders safe. My name is Joe Schwartz. Hey, Joe. And I'm one of the leaders of the Keep Michigan Safe Committee. As a Republican, no, you're not, that represented Michigan, the 7th District in Congress, I know what it's like to have policy differences with Democrats, but I also know that the policy that Governor Whitmer has enacted during COVID-19 is saving lives. Let's stop right there. You can't make that statement. You cannot say, and I can't even say that what she has done with her decision process has saved lives, because the data and the research, we don't know yet. Just like I told you from the beginning, anybody that tells you that they have figured this out, right, this pandemic, if they figured this out, then they're lying, because nobody knows yet. Over the next 3 to 4 years, we're probably going to analyze everything in its mother, and we still probably won't know. So to make blanket statements like that says, her decision-making process is saving lives. So I have to question that, because you can't make those blanket statements without backing it up with fact. So you know what I do? I look up the data and I said, holy cow, if her decision-making is saving lives, then the state of Michigan per 1 million per deaths, or 1 per 1 million deaths, should be very low, and she should be dominating that narrative. So I went to worldometers.com and I looked at the up-to-date, accurate, truthful information regarding the state of Michigan and other states. And lo and behold, I find that Michigan is number 7. Out of all the great states of this union, they're number 7 per deaths per 1 million, meaning we're 7th highest in deaths from this pandemic. And we know from the beginning that her decision-making to put 2,000 or so elderly people into nursing homes. Well, I can't say that for sure, the 2,000, but we know that 2,000 elderly have died in nursing homes, or somewhere around that number. And we know that she put COVID-infected people into those nursing homes. That is fact. And that's going to get drawn out and talked about in the future. But I like to point those things out, because when you make those statements that she is saving lives, then it should reflect in the data. And lo and behold, it doesn't, because the state of Michigan is number 7 at 653 deaths per 1 million. So there goes that. So let's go on. We need to do everything we can to stop this egregious ballot initiative. And that's where you come in. Will you help us fight Unlock Michigan's irresponsible actions with a contribution of $25 today? As a physician, I know that the only way to keep Michiganders safe is to follow the science, and Governor Whitmer's actions follow science and fact. Okay, you can't say that again, because if that was the case, if her decision-making process is actually following the science and the facts of what's going on, why is it everybody and their mother following her lead? They're not. And why are we number 7 out of all the states with the deaths per 1 million? Those are facts. So if she's following science and fact, then she's better switch it up real quick, because why are we top 7, right? And the deaths are continually to be very, very low. It's not like the state of Michigan is very, very low and everybody else is doing it wrong, who decided not to lock down, who decided not to take away our citizens' rights, sacred values, and constitutional freedoms. I mean, look at what's happening in the Dakotas, right? They're doing great. She didn't lock down. So you can't say that this governor's decision-making process is basically backed by science and fact. I think their decision-making process is backed by their narrative, and I'm going to destroy the double standard again today that I keep seeing. But you can't say those things. You can't. They continue. They continue to say these things and put out these blanket approaches. And unfortunately, there's some Michiganders out there and some Americans that are buying it. Okay, so we already start tearing up this email. I'm not even to the governor response to President Trump yet. I'm going to get to that here in a second. However, I'm just destroying the email narrative to understand that this is full of crap and garbage information and clown show stuff. Because let's go on. If this reckless petition is successful, it would curb every governor's authority to timely declare a state of emergency, and that would set us up for disaster if we were to face another crisis. Wrong. We have the 1976 law that allows the governor to declare a state of emergency for how long? 28 days. And after the 28 days, they need to work together with the legislature to come up with bipartisan solutions on how to govern this state. So when you read that and you can already see that it's not truthful, it's garbage. All right? It's all garbage. It's clown show stuff. So keep Michigan safe is just getting off the ground to stop the petition drive and keep the emergency governing power safe. And we need your help to fight back. Can you chip in $25 today? Okay. Keep Michigan safe. It's just getting off the ground. Congratulations on just getting off the ground. However, I think you're a little too late to the party because we're probably going to have our numbers that we need and probably within the next 30 days. Ron even mentioned that on his live this morning on the Unlock Michigan group, which we're going to have the YouTube link for all of you on the Stand Up Michigan page if you didn't see that. But if you didn't see it and you want to see it, it's up on the Unlock Michigan page, which he got interviewed this morning. Great interview. Make sure that you check it out, but I will be posting it as soon as the YouTube link is ready. But right there allows you to understand, folks, you just follow the 2 golden rules. Always do what's right and always tell the truth. And when you put stuff out on an email with not facts, untruthful information to tell people that this petition drive is going to strip away of every governor's authority, still have the 76 law to declare a state of emergency for 28 days to get federal funding. The whole point of the repeal 1945 law, if they can't continue what she's doing right now, is to extend the state of emergency, extend the state of emergency, extend the state of emergency, continue to bring down the tyrannical hammer throughout this process, especially when the science and fact, or the science and fact, or whatever he says, science and fact is what he said, is saving lives. They can't make that blanket statement. Nobody knows yet. I can't. What I can tell you by experience of what's going on with the tens of thousands of stories that we're getting, that her decision-making process is actually not saving lives, it's destroying lives. And we have the data to support that from all the businesses that are going out of business, all the family generational businesses that are no longer open, and it's going to continue to get worse. Every day, more and more businesses are closing because they can't survive. And so that's why we as a movement has always continued to do those 2 rules. Always do what's right, always tell the truth, so you can be empowered and understand what's truly going on. That's what we all want, is we want truthful information, not a bias, not a narrative, not some kind of political agenda that somebody else has going on. So that's done. Good luck with collecting the money to try to stop this petition, because we, the people, are almost there with finishing this. And I'm sure over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have updated numbers for you all. But folks, we're getting close. And so let's talk about the numbers, because we need 340,047 signatures confirmed. That's why initially we said we wanted to 500,000, because we have so many in the background, as we would say, to make sure if they say 100,000 weren't good, we still had enough to get this petition in front of the legislature. And people are asking, well, Garrett, why are you moving the goalposts? Why are you saying you want 1 million now? And are we going to count 1 million? No. Are we going to wait until we have 1 million signatures to get this petition in front of the legislature? Of course not. Of course not. We're going to get the 500,000 signatures, and we are going to start the process, and then we're going to have to enact all of you and activate all of you to get after the Secretary of State to confirm these bad boys. But what I want is to have those 500,000 that are confirmed, but then we have a stack behind it to allow everybody to know the power of we the people, to allow our elected officials to know that we the people are behind this. And when you have 1 million, that makes a statement, folks. And that allows these legislatures, right, to understand that we the people are behind this. And there may be some on the fence. There may be some political game going on that I'm not well aware of, because you know how much I feel about politics and how happy I'm with it. I hate the game. It's disgusting. However, there might be something going on. But when we have over 1 million signatures that want to get this done, they're going to be more apt what? To get it through. So we want to make that statement to let them know that we, the people, are behind us. And 500,000 will do that. But I'm the type of guy that likes to throw the rock at the moon and hit the eagle rather than throw the rock at the eagle and hit the ground. I want to dream big with this thing. And I know that we have the momentum and energy, and all of you on here that have been following us see it. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's fantastic to see the power of we, the people, and what can happen from the power of one that can lead to the power of many. It's humbling. It's amazing. And it's so fantastic to be a part of this thing and to watch what we, the people, can truly do and what this can evolve into, because just like Ron said this morning, we're not done. We're not done. And so on here, like, look, ladies and gentlemen, trust the process. Trust the process. Ron is in contact with the legislature. He's doing all the behind the scenes stuff to get this stuff and open up conversations and carry on with these conversations. So trust the process, believe in us and what we're trying to do, that we're going to get it done as fast and as efficient as possible. Okay. That's why we're always on here updating you guys everything that we know, so you guys can all be empowered with what's going on and understand we're not hiding nothing. We're figuring these things out, and then we got press releases that get released that we got to stay on top of that narrative. So this thing's constantly evolving, and it's a mouth around an open fire hydrant, folks. You're just trying to suck it all in. And we've been at this thing since April 9th, 7 days a week. It's been nonstop, and it continues to be nonstop. But we're not done until we get this thing finished, and then we'll see what happens next. So let's talk about Governor Whitmer's statement on President Trump's COVID-19 executive actions. Let me take a breath. Today, Governor Whitmer released the following statement on President Trump's coronavirus executive actions, which include a cut to crucial federal unemployment benefits for people who have lost work as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Once again, and I quote the governor, "The president has refused to work together with Congress on a bipartisan recovery package." So let's cut. You know, when I read these statements, and this is what's insane, right? When I read these statements and I see that they put this out for people to read, like, I almost feel like I'm getting punked. Like, I'm thinking somebody's going to jump out of that closet and say, "Hey, we got you, Garrett. We got you," because she's basically stating, why isn't the president? The president is refusing to work together with Congress on a bipartisan recovery. Why are you not working with your own legislature then? If you make that statement, I mean, holy cow, man! Like, to call the kettle black, it just doesn't make any sense, folks. Like, when she goes out there and says that, and it's her words, that she's going on there and says, why isn't the president working with Congress on a bipartisan solution? Well, Governor, why aren't you working with your legislature to come up with common sense solutions on how to govern this great state? But you refuse. Okay, let's go on. It's just funny when you read this stuff, and people who support her, they don't see it. It's like, no, it's right there. She said, no, she didn't. She didn't say it. Like, no, yes, she did. Just like when she threatened to use force to make sure that we are masking up in our state. And I think the Detroit News came out with something like, Governor Whitmer didn't say that. It's on video. Are we in loony bin land? Like, it's comical, but it's not, because it's damaging people's lives. But when you read that stuff, you're like, why aren't people, jumping on this thing and exposing this double standard and this narrative in the mainstream media? Oh, because there's something bigger going on, right? It's called the November election. And so that's why I like to get on here and just tell you the truth on what's going on, because it's not hard. He has routinely, this is to carry on with her statement with President Trump, he has routinely proven that he's more focused on his chances in the November election than fighting the virus that has killed more than 160,000 Americans. Okay, so why are you meeting with Joe Biden to be on his cabinet, or VP running mate? I don't know if he has released that yet. I guess he's supposed to be released. I haven't watched the news yet today, so I don't know if he has or has not. So who has the political agenda and who's trying to do what? Oh, because you're trying to fit in the narrative of the radical far left on trying to do everything possible to not have that man get reelected. Okay, but we won't talk about that right now. The president's recent actions do nothing to protect the millions of unemployed Americans who need to put food on the table for themselves and their families. He cut federal funding for unemployed workers and is requiring states that are facing severe holes in our budget to provide 25% of the funding. So you want the president and the federal government to bail you out because of your decision-making process to destroy our economy, destroy businesses, and destroy Michigan lives.
What sense does that make? Okay? Because you are the reason why we're out of work. You are. You are the reason. And you continue to extend the state of emergency and continue to lock us up and continue to mandate all these things. And that's hurting business owners. That's putting people out. And then you want your hand out and say, please bail us out. His refusal to provide full federal funding to states across the country to help us combat this virus will hurt the brave men and women on the front lines of this crisis, like our first responders, healthcare workers, childcare workers, and more. I haven't seen anything in the fact that first responders, healthcare workers, and childcare workers, and more are getting destroyed by this pandemic. I haven't seen that. What I have seen is the decision-making process of this governor from April 9th, when we flattened the curve in the first 2 weeks, and then hospitals were going out of business, and hospitals were laying people off. That is true. That is factual. Look it up. But she's blaming the federal government for all these supposedly bad things that are happening to the first responders, healthcare workers, childcare workers, and more. Doesn't add up. And be honest with you, what more could the federal government do in this situation? I don't know what more he could have done. Like, I'm not the president. And I would not want to make any of these decisions, because I don't think you can make the right decision in the beginning, because nobody knows, and then you're going to be held accountable with it. That's why it's you just can't start pointing the finger at everybody, because we have to look at everything and really see what works and look at the world data with these things. But what more could he have done? I mean, when New York was getting hit hard, he got the hospital ship there that they didn't use. He got the ventilators there, right? And you don't hear much about the ventilators anymore, and I haven't confirmed this yet. But I've read some stuff saying that we ventilated a lot of people, and maybe we shouldn't have. But you can't blame them, because we didn't know. We were just trying to save lives. But they're starting to figure out that maybe the ventilators weren't a good thing to use in the beginning. It damaged lung tissue. That's all probably going to come out. But what more could he have done? I mean, he did everything that he could, and then everybody else is just saying that they want more and more and more, and it just doesn't add up, folks. So it's time for the president to do the right thing, stop playing political games, and work with Congress on a recovery package that will help us fight the virus, protect working families, and send our kids, educators, and support staff back to school safely. It's time for the president to do the right thing. You know, when you read this, it's almost like you could take the president verbiage out and put the governor, the governor in there, and then it kind of reads like the playbook of what's going on in the state of Michigan right now. How about it's time for the governor to do the right thing, stop playing political games, and work with Congress, her legislature, on a recovery package and common sense solutions that will help us fight the virus, protect working families, and send our kids and education support staff back to school safely. That to me, if you just take president out and put the governor in, that's what we kind of all want, right? Oh, doesn't fit the narrative, folks. Doesn't fit the narrative. And so when these things come out, I'll continue to go on here and just tell the truth. Continue to give you that information, and so you guys can understand what the heck's going on and sift through the BS and the crap and the garbage that we're going to, because all of this is leading up to what they're trying to do in November. I mean, you can see it. We predicted this narrative ever since the beginning, and they're following through with it. And just like I told you on the broadcast the other day, you know, it just kills me. And I know it's killing all of you, literally, when we have elected officials who are willing to put their own political agenda ahead of the lives of Michiganders and the lives of Americans. And that's why this movement continues to grow so fast, is because people are hurting and they're fed up. You know, folks, which is a good thing, because a lot of times, sometimes we have to fall on our face before we make a change. Sometimes we have to fall in that hole before we make a change. And hopefully we never have to do this again. But we, the people, are waking up, and people are activating. And the energy that's out there right now to get this done has been amazing. And so I think we're just getting started with this thing. And I think there's going to be a lot of changes here in the near future in politics. I really, truly believe that. I think there's going to be a lot of people that never thought they would be in politics that probably will start to get involved with it, that are great, good people that just want the best for this country and want the best for the state. And I urge all of you out there that want to do that to follow through with it. We need great Michiganders. We need great Americans who are going to do the right things for this state and for this country. And run. Don't sit in the shadows anymore, because look what's happened. And we've all done this. Like I said before, we all fell asleep on the watch. So start running for things, start running for school board, start running for city council, any of those things, start running for Senate, Congress. I don't care what it is. Get out there and start running, because we need great Americans. We need to get this political system fixed, because look what's happened with these career politicians that have been in office for decades that have never done anything, and they're still there. Why are they still there? Right? So it's time for we the people to restore those checks and balances, not only in the state of Michigan, but in this great country. And so if you're out there and you're listening to this, run, get in the office, because we need great Americans, just like all of you, to activate yourself and get mobile. And then we'll get things done, and we can make sure this never happens again. And we can make sure that we're leaving a great, wonderful country to our kids and to our grandchildren. That's why all of us at Stand Up Michigan continue to stand up with all of you, is because that's what we're after. Okay. So continue just to trust the process and understand and know that there's a lot of things that are always happening behind the scenes, and we're trying to keep up with it as best as possible. Know that Ron is in touch with legislature and always in contact with them. We have a great team right now. You know, all of our volunteers are admins and moderators. I mean, they are just doing a phenomenal job, and they've been working their fanny off ever since April 9th, folks. We've been at it, and we're going to continue to get this done. So keep doing with the energy, getting the petitions. Let's go for 1 million. I still want it. I still want 1 million. We're going to get to 500,000. We're going to submit them. We're going to get out to the Secretary of State to verify them. And then we're going to get the legislator to get it through. And then the repeal 1945 is done. And then we restore checks and balances. And whatever we need to do from there, we'll evolve the conversation to that point. But understand and know, just trust the process. Okay. And we'll continue to do what we do best over here, is give you up-to-date, accurate, truthful information. And always follow those 2 golden rules. Always do what's right, and always tell the truth. That's it. That's all we require from all of our leaders and our elected officials. Okay? So until next time, have a great day. God bless you. God bless the state of Michigan, and God bless the United States. I will talk to you all soon. Goodbye.